Okay, I click on launch. Okay, Unreal project browser window got open here. I go to games. I select third person template here with starter content. You can see I enable starter content, and my project is the project name. We save it at the desktop, say create. Okay, my project window, you can see my project is open. I go to window. I say here load layout UV4 classic layout. Okay, and then I'm going to create a new level, file, new level, basic, create. Okay, let's save file, save current level as, right click, new folder. I say levels, and then the level name I give here level 1. Okay, level 1 is created. Okay, we are here. You can see here level 1 is created and it is open. If I click on the play button, you see player is loaded here. Fine. In the previous classes we have discussed the arithmetic operators. We have discussed that arithmetic operators are nodes used to perform arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus. And then we have discussed the increment and decrement operators. So plus plus indicates the increment operator. It is used to increment the variable value by 1. Minus minus, it is used to decrement the variable value by 1. And then we have discussed the relational operators or comparison operators. We know that relational or comparison operators are used to compare the relationship between two values. On comparison, they yield the result either true or false. We have discussed the less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to, right? Right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in this class, we will be discussing the Boolean operators or logical operators. Boolean operators are also called logical operators in Unreal. Boolean operators are used to connect one or more relational expressions or relational conditions. So to create relational conditions, we use the relational operators, right? They are used to create conditions which yield either into true or false. So Boolean operators are used to connect one or more relational conditions. They accept Boolean operands, that is true or false. On evaluation, they yield the result either true or false. So Boolean operators accept true, false. On evaluation, they yield the result true, false. We have different nodes like and, or, not, and, or, not. So let's talk about these operators and, or, not with a demo here. I go to level blueprint. Okay, I open the level blueprint, you see here. Okay, here if I say and Boolean, so there is an operator called and Boolean, and if I right click here and say print string, you can see both the operands are here Boolean. A, B both are Boolean, and the result also Boolean. So if both are tick, means both are true. If both operands are true, result will be true. If both operands are true, then result you get true. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play. You see the output is true here. So that's what the AND operator says. If both the operands are true, then result will be true. In all other cases, the result will be false. That means if A is false, B is true, result you will get false. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play. You see result is false. If A is true, B is false, compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you get false. If both are false, then also you will get result false. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play, false. And says if both operands are true, then result will be true. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play. You can see the result will be true. In all other cases the result will be false. So here we can give the conditions which yield result into true or false. For example, if I say less than, so we have the relational operator less than, right click, convert pin to integer. If I say here 5 less than 10, we know that 5 is less than 10, so definitely it is true. Similarly, again I use the less than operator, right click, convert to integer. If I say here, let's say 25 less than 50, of course 25 is less than 50, this also results into true. As both conditions are true, we'll get the result true. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you see we are getting the result true. So in this, any one condition is false or both conditions are false, the result will be false. You see here, if I say instead of 5, let's say 30 less than 10 is false. 30 less than 10 is false because 30 is greater than 10. So 30 less than 10 is false. And says if both operands are true, then the result will be true, otherwise result will be false. So definitely we'll get false. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play. You see we are getting false because both conditions are not true. So let's say this is true, 5 less than 10 is true, whereas let's say here if I say 100 less than 50, 100 less than 50 is false. And says if both conditions are true, then result true, otherwise result will be false. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, we again get false because here both conditions are not true. This one is true, this one is false. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Similarly, if I say 30 less than 10, this is also false, this is also false. And says if both operands are true, then result true, otherwise false. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, we get false because here both the conditions or both the operands are not true. So that's about the AND actually. Similarly, we have the OR Boolean. So OR Boolean says if both operands are false, then result false, then result will be false. In all other cases the result will be true. OR says what OR says? If both operands are false, then result will be false. In all other cases the result will be true. That means if both operands are false, result will be false. In all other cases the result will be true. Like for example here, if I say less than, right click, convert to integer. If I say here 30 less than 10 is false. Similarly, again I search for less than and right click, convert to integer. I say here 100 less than 50, 100 less than 50. Here both conditions are false. As both conditions are false, result will be false. OR says if both operands are false, result will be false. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play. You see we got the result false. Whereas if any one condition is true, result will be true here. So if I say 5 less than 10, 5 less than 10 is true. What OR says? If both operands are false, then false, otherwise true. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, we get the result true because here both conditions are not false. Right? One is true, one is false. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is how the OR works. Let's say the above condition is false, 30 less than 10. Below condition is true. Here any one condition is true, result will be true. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you see result is true because here both conditions are not false. This is false, this is true. 25 less than 50 is true. So that's about the OR. What OR says, what AND says. You should understand this very clearly. You should understand and remember. AND says and says if both operands are true, then the result will be true. What OR says, if both operands are false, then result will be false. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, right? Okay. And one more operator we have, not Boolean. Not Boolean. So let's say here less than, I'll use less than, right click, convert to integer. If I say 5 less than 10, 5 less than 10 is true. We know that 5 less than 10 is true. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you see it is showing true. We are getting true here. Now if I give this condition to not, instead of getting true, we get false. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you see we are getting false. So not negates the result. This is true. 5 less than 10 is true. Not true means what? False. So we'll get the result false. If I say this one as 30 less than 10, 30 less than 10 is false. Not false means what? We get true. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you see we are getting here true. So that is how the Boolean operators actually being used or are going to work actually. Okay? Fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now what we do, we'll understand how these Boolean operators are used in the game. How we can use these Boolean operators in the game. So let's get started. You can see that we have a player here. Fine. Now what I do here, I right click, create a new folder called as blueprints. I right click, say blueprint class of type actor. I say here bp underscore coin. bp underscore coin. You can see that bp underscore coin is created. I double click to open it. What I do here, I am going to add cylinder as usual. Add a cylinder. You can see cylinder is added, and then I am going to rotate it by 90 degrees and scale it down, and then I can change the material here to gold. I choose, and then I come down and set the collision presets to overlap all dynamic. Compile and save. Now I can create some instances, right? So I simply drag and drop the BP coin here to create instances. I can create some duplicates by holding Alt drag here, Alt drag like this. Now if I play, you should see that player can overlap with these coins. Okay. Now what I want, when the player collects the coin should get destroyed. So I go to BP third person character here. I open the BP third person character. I go down, and here I start implementing the logic. So what I do here, I right click and say here actor begin overlap, event actor begin overlap. Okay. And then I use a sequence node. And here I check whether the other actor is BP underscore coin. Okay. If it is a BP coin, what should happen? That coin should get destroyed. So I simply say here destroy actor. Okay. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play. You can see that the coins are getting destroyed here. That means player is collecting the coins. Now I come back and manage the score. To keep track of score, we'll create a variable. I say plus, I say here score, and this score should be of type integer. Compile, and here I set the initial value to 0. Okay. Now what I want, whenever the player collects a coin, the score should increase. So I say here get score, and then I use add operator. To that I am going to add 1, and then I have to set the score back. Here I connect this pin. So whenever a coin destroys, it gets the current score, adds 1 to it and sets it as a new score. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, like that the score increases. We can display that. Say print string and display the score. Compile, save, come to level 1 and play. Now we can collect the coins. You see on the screen, you can see score 1, score 2, 3, 4. Like this you can manage the player score. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So that is about the arithmetic operator, that is addition operator. I told you that if you are incrementing a variable value by 1, just variable value by 1, if you are incrementing, instead of using the addition operator, you can use the increment operator, which is used to increment the variable value by 1. So instead of these two steps, we can perform these two steps in a single step, that is by using plus plus. So plus plus also does the same thing. It increments the variable value by 1 and we can display that. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play. Now you should see score is incrementing 1, 2, 3 and 4. You can see that the score is changing. So you can use, instead of addition operator, you can use plus plus to increment a variable value by 1. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Next, what I do here, I am going to add another blueprint. Right click, blueprint class of type actor. I call this as BP underscore obstacle. BP underscore obstacle. BP underscore obstacle obstacle. I open the BP obstacle. Okay. In this, I am going to add cylinder as usual. Select the cylinder. I am going to scale it in the Z axis by 5 times, in the X axis and Y axis by 0.5 times. Okay. And then I am going to select the cylinder, press Ctrl D to duplicate, and then I am going to rotate it by 90 degrees around X axis, and then I am going to add one more cylinder here. This cylinder I rotate around Y axis by 90 degrees. Select 3 cylinders and I change the material here to brick. Select the cylinder 1 and the cylinder. I change collision presets to overlap all dynamic, and then I want rotate, so I simply use add actor world rotation. I am going to rotate around X axis by 0.5. Compile, save, come to level 1, drag and drop. Now you should see that we have an obstacle. Whenever player overlaps with this obstacle, his health should reduce. So that's what we want. So what we do next? What we do here?
We pass to the
Yes.
obstacle.
Yes. We'll check whether other actor is BP underscore obstacle. If it is an obstacle, then what should happen? We have to reduce the health or lives. So let's say I am using lives or health. It's my wish. So I'm using here health. Let's say HELTH health, and I say compile and set the health to 100. You can see that. Now I can get the health, and then I say here subtract. I cannot use here minus minus, because I know that minus minus is used to decrement variable value by 1, right? Which is a decrement
Yes.
operator. It is used to decrement variable value by 1. But here I am decrementing the health by 25. So instead of using increment, I should use
Subtract.
subtract operator. So subtract by 25, and make sure you set the health back. So you should set the health here like this, and then you can print string. You can say here print string, connect this and connect this. Now compile, save, come to level 1 and play. Now if I go here, so when the player overlaps with this, see health is reduced to 75, right? Now if
Yes.
I come here, it reduced to 50, it reduced to 25, it reduced to 0. What I want, if health becomes 0, player should switch to game over level. Player should switch to game over level. So I am going to create one new level. What I do, I say file, new level, basic, create. I created a basic level here, and in that I am going to add a text renderer actor. I press the F key to focus, and then I am going to scale it. You can see I have scaled it, and then I am going to rotate it by 180 degrees negative. And then I can change the text here. Here I say game over. If I play, it looks like this. I want to save this file, save current level as, I call this as game over level. Okay, game over level is ready. Now I go back to the level 1. I go back to level 1 and play. Of course, here the health is going to reduce. If health becomes 0, then it should switch to game over level. So here comes the use of the relational operators. Equal, we have equal operator. So what we can do here is, after reducing the health, we should check if health is equal to we can use, or we can use less than or equal to. It's like if it is lesser than or equal to 0, you can use this also. If it is less than or equal to 0, we can simply use a branch here. We can use a branch and we'll give the condition over here. So if you want to check both the conditions, less than or equal to, then you can go for less than or equal to. If you want to check only equal to, then you go for equal to 0. So here, if health is less than or equal to 0 at any time, what should happen? It should open the level by name. Which level it should open? It should open game over level. Correct? Am I correct? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now what happens, whenever the player overlaps with the obstacle, health reduces and it checks whether the health is less than or equal to 0. So for example, if player overlaps first time, health becomes 75. 75 less than or equal to 0 is false. Nothing happens. Next, it becomes 50. 50 less than or equal to 0 is false. Nothing happens. Next, it becomes 25. 25 less than or equal to 0 is false. Nothing happens. Next, it becomes 0. 0 less than or equal to 0 is true, because 0 equal to 0 is true. Any one condition is true, result will be true. So it switches to game over level. So if I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you can see here, if I go 75, 50, nothing is happening, you can see that. 25, nothing is happening. When it becomes to 0, you can see automatically it switches to game over level. So this is how the relational operators come in handy. So we understood how arithmetic operators are used, addition, subtraction, how increment, decrement operators are used, how the relational operators are used. So this is how they are used actually in the game. So instead of less than or equal to, maybe if you want, you can definitely use equal to 0, you can use, no problem in that. Are you understanding? Are you clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now what I want in the game is, I want a portal. So I create another blueprint class of type actor. I call this as BP underscore PORTAL, BP underscore portal. I open this. I am going to add one cylinder again as usual, and then x-axis is forward, so I am going to rotate it here by 90 degrees, and then I am going to scale it. In the x-axis by 3 times, in the y-axis by 3 times, and I change the material here. I use this M underscore burst material and make it overlap all dynamic. Very easy. Compile, save, come to level 1 and place it. Okay, you can see that I have placed the portal also. So if I play now player can overlap with this portal also. When the player overlaps with the portal, what should happen? It switch to level 2. So player should go to level 2. So what I have to do? I have to create level 2. So I go to file, say new level, basic, create. Here also I am going to add a text renderer component and I am going to scale it. It's not scaling, just a minute. Okay, it is scaling, you can see. And then I am going to rotate it by minus 180 degrees. And then I change the text here, it's a level 2. Okay, I'm going to save it with the name level 2. So if I play, that's how it looks. Fine. Now again I go back to level 1. So in the level 1, of course, when the player overlaps with this, should go to level 2. So what I do here, again we need to check here. This time player can overlap with the portal also. So if other actor is BP underscore portal, we'll click on plus here to add one more pin and we'll connect this one over here. So if player overlaps with the portal, what should happen? It should open the level by name. Which level it should open? It should open level 2. It should open level 2. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play. Now you can see that if player overlaps, you can see that he switched to level 2. So automatically player is in level 2. Are you understanding? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You can see here, now player is switching to level 2. Good. Now I want to add a condition to this portal. I want to add a condition. The condition is player should collect minimum 3 coins. Player should collect minimum 3 coins. So here, before switching to level 2, when the player overlaps with the portal, we'll check the score. We'll get the score and check whether it is greater than or equal to 3, at least 3 coins or more. Then here I am going to use a branch. I am going to use the branch and connect this over here, connect here. If score is greater than or equal to 3, then only he should switch to level 2. So I have added a condition to the portal now. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you can see if I go, nothing happens. If I collect single coin, go, nothing happens. If I collect at least 3 or more, then it switches to level 2. Understanding? Understanding?
Sir.
Yes, right. So this is how the relational operators are used. So we have seen equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Here you can see score greater than or equal to 3. So this is how the relational operators are used in the game. Okay, now the player is collecting 3 or more coins. Okay, if he collects 3 coins, definitely switches to level 2. Now what I want to the portal, I want to add one more condition actually. To the portal, I want to add one more condition. And what is that condition? The condition is player should have a key also. To go to level 2, he should collect minimum 3 coins as well as he should have a key. So let's do that. Here I am going to add another blueprint class of actor. I call this BP underscore key. BP underscore key. I open this and I'm going to design the key here. I say add a cube. I add a cube and then I'm going to scale this cube in the x-axis by 5 times. I add one more cube. You can see I added one more cube and then I move it to the front, move it down, and then I am going to add one cylinder. I have added, and then what I do, I am going to rotate it around x-axis by 90 degrees. and move it back here, and I'm going to scale this. I'm going to scale it. I'm going to scale this in the x-axis and the y-axis by 3 times here. So now it looks like a key. Actually, you can see here it looks like a key. Let me change it to a gold color metal, and then I come down and select the collision presets to overlap all dynamic. So if player overlaps with this key, what should happen? That we have to think. Okay, you understood this part?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. Now I am going to add this key into the scene. Okay, this key is too big actually, you can see that, right? We have to scale it down. Okay, now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now the player is going to collect this key. When the player overlaps with this key, the key should destroy and player should collect that key also, right? See what I do here. I am going to check whether other actor is BP underscore key. Whether other actor is BP underscore key. If it is a key, then destroy that key. Destroy actor. If I say compile, save, come to level 1 and play, you should see that the key is destroyed. Okay, na? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we have to keep track of whether the player has key or no. Whether player has key or no. Understanding? Huh?
Yes, sir.
So here we have yes or no condition. So in that case, what we have to do? We have to create a variable called as has key. And what should be its type? We have to set has key type. What should be set?
We have to set object.
Why object?
Because
We are not getting reference to object. No, we are destroying that object. Why do you need reference to object?
Then it should be an integer.
Integer means we are counting how many coins we are collecting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are not collecting the keys how many, right? We are not keeping track of how many keys we are collecting. We are just collecting one key there, right? So we just need to keep track whether we got a key or not. Whether the player has key or not. That's it.
Boolean.
Yes, we have to select the Boolean, right? So initially it is set to false. That means player has no key. If player collects the key, then we have to set has key to true. Understood? Huh? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how you should think. What variable we have to create, what should be its type. Okay, when we have to create Boolean variable, when we have to create integer variable, how we can keep track of something. So score is good for integer definitely, because it's incrementing by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. Health is again integer only we need. Now here we have only two choice here, either has or no. So in that case Boolean, I told you before. So you can use the Boolean type. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when the player collects the key, it turns into has key turns to true. Now we can use this condition over here in the portal. So we have to give two conditions now. What is that? Has key is equal to true. Has key is equals to true. Both conditions we have to check now. Not one condition, both. So this is a place where we use the logical operators used to connect one or more relational conditions. So we have two relational conditions. We can connect them using the AND. So we use AND Boolean. Use AND Boolean, and result will give here. So what AND says, both the conditions should be true here. Both the operands should be true. That means player should have 3 or more coins, and he should have a key, and he should have a key. Both the conditions should be true now. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes. if I compile, save, come to level 1 and play, if player collects 3 coins or more, and if he overlaps with the portal, nothing happens, you see, because only one condition is true. Has key is still false. If player collects this key and overlaps with the portal, it switches to level 2. If I play again, if I go and collect the key and overlap with the portal, nothing happens, because only one condition is true. Has key is true, but player has not collected 3 or more coins. So if he collects 3 or more coins and overlaps, it switches to level 2. If I play here, if player has no coins, no key, nothing happens, you see that. So both the conditions should be true. That's the meaning of AND. I told you, right? AND says if both operands are true, then result true, otherwise result will be false. So here both the conditions should be true to go to the level 2. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
So if you want one of the conditions should be true, then you will be using OR Boolean. You will be using OR Boolean. That means compile, save. If I collect the key, okay, if I don't have coins, it's okay, no problem. I can switch to level 2 because one condition is true. If I collect only the coins and go, I can switch to level 2 because one condition is true. If I collect both coins as well as the key, I can definitely go to level 2. If I don't have both, then I can't go to level 2. So player can't switch to level 2. Either player should have a key or coin or both to switch to level 2. So that is the difference between AND and OR. So AND means both the conditions should be true. And here both the conditions should be true, then player switches to level 2. So that's what about the Boolean operators. Okay, so in this single example you are understanding lot of things. You are understanding about the variable types, when you have to create variable, when you have to choose or which type of variable you have to choose, how you have to keep track of score, health and has key. You are understanding how you can check with which actor you are overlapping using cast2. You are understanding how you can destroy actors, You are understanding how you can use arithmetic operators and increment operator, decrement operator, subtraction operator here, right? You are understanding how you can create the conditions, that is how you can use the relational operators, how you can use the Boolean operators, that is AND OR operators, how you can switch to another level in the game, how we can add conditions to portals and all, right? Are you understanding? Yes, any question?
Yes, sir.
Any questions you have here?
No questions, sir.
Right, so you should be able to create this entire thing. By yourself without seeing. Okay, you should not see the logic, you should not see the graph, you should build it step by step. What I need next, okay, I need this next, so what should I do? I have to create a blueprint class, I have to implement the logic. So you should think of that step by step. So that's very important in gaming. Logical thinking is very important. What we need next, based on that only we'll take the action, we'll implement the behavior, we'll add the actors one by one, we'll choose the variables, we'll choose the variable types, we choose the conditions and all. Okay, understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want, you can build the entire level step by step now. Like maybe you can put a portal somewhere else, you can add more coins, like you can add more coins in the game. or drag. You can add more obstacles in the game like this, and you can put portal somewhere else. You can put portal somewhere else like this, and somewhere you put a key which the player has to collect. You can delete this floor. You can add the, you can design the level as per your need. Like I am adding another cylinder over here. Press the F key to focus. So player will be standing on this floor. Okay, like this. You can place it above like this, and then you can add some rectangle. Sorry. You can add a rectangle, create a platform like this. You can create a platform like this. You can place another platform. So it's in your hand, like how you want to design the scene. You can design the scene. So maybe you can use this another one over here, and you can put the portal somewhere here. So it's your wish, like how you will design, like this. And then maybe you can create a duplicate of this to go get the key, and you can play. You can see this is how it looks. Now the player can collect some you can see that keys, coins, and he has to carefully jump and get the key and go back, and then he should jump, go to the next level like that. Understood, Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is all about the operators for today's class. Go and explore. I'll share you these screenshots. You can build this entire game. Okay, in the next class you can show me like what you have done so far. Okay.
Okay, sir.